Audio. We have audio. And you've probably just heard me. Good morning and welcome to Marchant Park in Aspley. Thank you so much for your patience. It's been a tricky old morning. The word tragedy is overused, but we've had a proper one today at Marchant Park. Sorry, I didn't mean to giggle at that moment. But welcome to the Mazda Brisbane Premier League. This is the Under-19 Women's Tournament. 4 days. 4 days of action. The first 2 days will be right here at Marchant Park in Aspley, and then we pop out to Redlands for the third round, and then the finals. They'll be on Wednesday and Thursday. 8 teams, and you will see all 8 of them if you stay here on the live stream for the Brisbane Premier League. This match, you'll see the Northern Kings in their gold strips in the field, and the Bayside Pirates in the blue with the bat. Ella Fernley currently bowling from the northern end, and bowling to Dahlia Glennie. And this is a club v club battle because both Fernley and Glennie play for the Gold Coast Club, who are the current holders of the Catherine Raymond Shield. Thrilling win in the final. I beg your pardon, Sunshine Coast. They were the finalists in the Catherine Raymond Shield. They've lost 7 of the last 8 finals in the 50 over comp. They will break through the Gold Coast. Nice drive by Glennie, just gone out of camera shot, but it's a single to mid-off. The shy at the stumps was ambitious, and then backed up on the far side by Holly Hogan from the Valleys Club. The score you can see, there are 2 matches taking place at the moment, this one and then another on a further field. At 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock we'll have 3 simultaneous matches in the women's under-19 competition. Fernley rolling it out the back of the hand, and the control wasn't quite there. Good keeping down the leg side from Elise Hart, who was the first grade wicket-keeper for the University of Queensland in the Catherine Raymond Shield. 20 over comp and 50 over comp taking place this season. And Fernley just wanting for control at the moment. Again a slow ball, takes the front edge of Carly Fuller, runs down to third, and it has just gone over the boundary at third. It was a valiant effort from Maddie Duncan in the field, but just not quite able to get there. Now she's from the Sunshine Coast Club, who are the Catherine Raymond Shield 50 over holders. Credit where it's due. Making a mistake in the first minute of commentary is not the best thing to do. My name's Daniel Viles. I'll be with you throughout the week, for better or worse. And if you're watching via the YouTube stream, comment away. More on that in a moment. Lovely slower delivery from Fernley. You'll see on the YouTube stream that there is a comment section. I think you need an account to be able to comment. If you know more about these players than I do, for goodness sake tell me. If I mispronounce a name, tell me. If the camera is on the wrong angle, I'd like to know. This is your competition. You are the fans, you're the family. Hit to the offside by Fuller. I apologise, that's Wheeler. Sorry, getting the teams mixed up. I genuinely apologise for that. So Dahlia Glennie, the left-hander on strike. And Fernley immediately goes around the wickets. Slice, but excellent fielding at third from Maddie Duncan. Make sure there's no run. Good over from Fernley, just one stray delivery. But the Kings have made a good start. They have taken 1 wicket. Thankfully we had vision for most of the time when there was no audio. And we saw an excellent diving catch from Lucinda Burke in the point region. If you rewind, you will be able to see, don't do it now, stay with the live action, but you will be able to rewind and see all the action that you've missed. 8 o'clock start this morning, and a lot of these women have come from fairly distant places. all across southeast Queensland, but we do have some Rocky players out there, including Tasman Gandhi. Drifted delivery, hit to cover and well fielded by Clodagh Ryle, who captained the Sunshine Coast team to victory in the Catherine Raymond Shield 50 overs last March. Gandhi, plenty of air, drew some footwork, but off the inside of the bat and hit to Fuller at mid-wicket. Fuller's delivery driven well. It's gone to the left of Matty Duncan, who fields superbly to cut it down to 1 run. Gandhi giving the ball plenty of air, tempting the batters, and made sure that Tara Wheeler had to work. Tara Wheeler, the captain. I'll talk about the trailblazers for each team in a moment. Glennie, first look at Gandhi at this end of the pitch. Gandhi from the southern end. Tossed up well, lofted straight, and Duncan moved quickly but wasn't able to get to that one. And unfortunately the ball rolls under the sight screen. Sometimes it rolls back and sometimes you have to go for the long trek around the sight screen. And on this occasion, poor Abby Burrows has to go for the long trek around the sight screen into a different postcode. But it was a lovely straight shot from Dahlia Glennie. And she adds 4 to the total. Not a huge number of boundaries so far today, but the Pirates are keeping the scoreboard ticking over. Their men's teams didn't have the best time of it in the senior and under-19 men's competition. Semi-finalists in the under-19s. So Gandhi looking to tempt Glennie. And she did, stumping. Gandhi had the courage to keep the ball up, tossed it up, made sure that Glennie had the temptation to lift the eye. She fell for it, and superb work behind the stumps from the Kings keeper Elise Hart. Gandhi has the breakthrough, and one of the big wickets in Dahlia Glennie will be back in the shed. The new batter is Eloise Shabe. She'll be at the crease in a moment. She's from the Western Suburbs Club. But a superb breakthrough for the Northern Kings. So this is the junior section of the tournament. The seniors and under-19s have been completed, and if you want to catch up on the action, go through the Brisbane Premier League YouTube channel. All the seniors games are there, barring I think there was one game that was missed. Ironically, the first morning game of the first day of the series, so teething problems, nothing new, unfortunately, for the Mazda Brisbane Premier League. Slow down, Daniel. So Gandhi bowling to Shabe. Gandhi with her tail up, likes to give the ball plenty of air, as spin aficionados enjoy. Just down the leg side, but got the pad, and Shabe possibly didn't read the pace of that delivery, but a wicket taking over for Tasman Gandhi from the Valley Club, I believe originally from Rocky. I'm prepared to be corrected on that. It's been a whirlwind week of research for me, but I've enjoyed it thoroughly. And a lot of the country players coming down to Brisbane to play for the district clubs in the Catherine Raymond Shield and the second grade competition, the Jodie Field Shield. And apart from anything else, it's wonderful to see the players who have succeeded for Queensland cricket over the past 20 years, or 30 in the case of Catherine Raymond. She was doing her trade in the 90s. Getting on it, we have the Kirby Short Cup as well, which is an under-19 Asia-side competition. And I'm hoping to lure Kirby Short into the commentary box later in the week. Ella Fernley. Fernley to Wheeler down the leg side. Good keeping from Hart. Hart, one of 2 genuine keeping options the Northern Kings have available. Eden Poland, who these days plays for Valleys, but originally from the sporting nursery that is Boyne Island Tannum Sands, a first grade keeper for Valley. Fernley, beautiful cut shot. It's over the head of the point fielder. That'll streak away for 4. And a superb shot from Tara Wheeler. Now, the Under-19 Women's Draft is still available as a Facebook video. Takes a while, but it's worth watching. Before the draft, each club was allowed to pick 4 players over the age of 19. They were called trailblazers. Not all of the players picked were over 19, but Tara Wheeler's 22. She is an immensely accomplished first grader for the Gold Coast. And the idea is to give a bit of experience to guide the other younger players through. Shorter delivery out the back of the hand, but the line was perfect. Good comeback from Ella Fernley. Yes, so Tara Wheeler is captain in this side, wearing the number 1 shirt, opening the batting. And while some of the women in this competition are as young as 13, they are being guided well by some very experienced first graders. Just on the hips, tucked around the corner. And Maddie Duncan's been impressive in the field. And me saying that means she's just fired one over the head of Hart. So Eloise Shabe will get her first look at Ella Fernley from this end. Shabe from the Wests Club, Fernley from the Gold Coast. And Duncan very active vocally in the field as well. It's always good to have an energetic player. Back of the hand flicked, it's gone to Duncan's left. It's actually well placed. Duncan's done superbly on the boundary to flick it back inside and allow Brittany Staines to get the throw in from the fence. I say the fence, there's witches' hats out there, but well saved. Shabe was able to get 2, return to strike. So Fernley just straying onto the pads every now and then, but she is trying to vary her pace and keep the batters guessing. Largely successful so far. That one is down the leg side, called wide. And given that Shabe has shown that she's fairly adept on the leg side, might be an idea for Fernley, who seems to have a bit of natural movement back into the right-hander, to start a little wider. Attack that off stump from outside it. And that's not so much a case of her hearing me as doing what she was trying to do in the first place. That was clever bowling, well executed from Fernley. Dot ball. Possibly trying too much there, Fernley. Another back of the hand attempt. And sometimes when the ball keeps going down leg side, and trust me, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to balls continually going down leg side, sometimes you just need to keep it simple. And the fielding captain, Carly Fuller, also an experienced first grader, over 100 games in the Catherine Raymond Shield, just giving a little word of encouragement, of calm to young Fernley. Drew an up his shot from Shabe, and finishes the over well. So Fernley with a good start, 2 wickets down.
Okay, that didn't really...
Maddie Duncan making friends over the boundary.
Oh, hey Maddie! I didn't even recognise you in that uniform.
And some guest commentators enjoying it behind me.
I will commentate.
I was afraid of that. So, and, so Gandhi to continue from the southern end. And I appreciate that while I'm thoroughly enjoying commentating for you here and just hopefully adding a bit of value to these games, I'm very much the novelty act here. Gandhi a full toss to Wheeler through the hands. And well fielded. It was a strong shot from Wheeler, but very nearly got herself caught at mid-wicket, and in the end only got a single as it was well fielded on the boundary from Clodagh Ryle. Gandhi with another moon ball. It will fall safely. Didn't get all of it, did Shabe, but it's fielded again on the boundary by Ryle. Not the strongest throw on that occasion, but no threat of an overthrow. So Gandhi getting a length wrong, but the placement's been found wanting. And Wheeler taking time to settle. She knows the last two balls have been opportunities not only missed, but taken very badly. And that time, with the ball heading down leg, Wheeler's experience came to the fore as she thought, nope, just let that one go past, we'll add one to the score and calm down. Gandhi. So that'll probably be a no ball. It's skied. Hart's coming through to catch it. It has been called a no ball, certainly by the bowler's end umpire, which means that it's not only not out, but it's also a free hit. And yes, the law these days, doesn't matter how slow you are, if it's over the waist on the full, you are penalised a no ball, and the whirligig symbol from the umpire means that there is a free hit now. Because the single was run, they have been able to put an extra fielder back in Burrows at long on. And Gandhi bowls their best ball of the over as it's hit down to Burrows at long on. And they just take the single. So good comeback from Gandhi to make sure that the free hit wasn't expensive. Gandhi to Wheeler. Gandhi length last ball. Again a full toss, whacked down to long on. And unfortunately Burrows was late to pick that up and it's bounced underneath her. One bounce, 4 runs. It is quite bright here today. Obviously Burrows was looking north, so not looking directly into the sun, but there's a lot of glare around. And Tara Wheeler does tend to hit the ball with a fair bit of force. Ooh! That was nearly accidentally the best delivery of the day. Did not bounce at all from Gandhi, and Wheeler needed all of her wits about her to keep it out. Outside off, didn't get the turn she was looking for, Gandhi. So a little expensive and uncontrolled this over Tasman Gandhi, but we've seen what she can do at her best. Shorter delivery, Wheeler read the bounce well, realised it wasn't going to get up, gets it down to Burrows at long on. They think of a second as there was a fumble, but Burrows recovered well. Entertaining over from Gandhi, I think it must be said. Now, if you want to keep up with the action from every game in the Brisbane Premier League this week, because as well as the under-19 women's, we've also got the boys' competitions in under-12s, 13s, 15s and 17s. This Marchant Park complex, there are 10 fields here. This is the main field, but it's called number 10. I think the ovals are numbered in the order in which they were created. If you try to play dot to dot with the oval numbers, you end up drawing something that looks like it has a serious health problem. But this is the main field, and the under-19 women's match of the round, if you will be played on this field. And as I say, over the next 4 days, you will see every team at least twice. 2 teams you'll see three times. But plenty of action around. I believe this is the only field with commentary, for better or worse. As Clodagh Ryle, who initially bowled from this southern end, now returns to the attack from the northern end, just to try to put the brakes on a partnership and maybe even see if they can see the back of Tara Wheeler. Tight delivery, tucked into mid-wicket. Wheeler into the 40s. It's a nice controlled cut. She may get 4 for that. She has. The power wasn't great, but it didn't need to be because she placed it superbly between point and a short third. And the outfields here at Marchant Park are very well kept. So Wheeler to 46. Played it well off the back foot. Ryle just held that one back onto the off bail. Wheeler was awake to it. Just the single. Moves to 47. I recommend downloading the Brisbane Premier League app as well, found through all the usual locations. Plenty of information on there. And there's even the capacity. I haven't checked with the scorers to see if they're doing it, but often you can get wagon wheels and some excellent statistics, which you never used to get for professional cricket, never mind under 19 women's. It's wonderful. It's wonderful what we can do nowadays. Ryle with a foolish delivery, played in a very relaxed manner by Shade. And just a single to cover. The throw is errant, but backed up well. Good backing up on that occasion from Eden Colin. Learning to field without the gloves today. I shouldn't say learning, she's probably done plenty of it, but normally with the mitts on. Ryle with a foolish delivery. I think Wheeler might have thought that was wider than it was and was hoping for outstretched arms from the umpire. Not to be. So Clodagh Ryle doing a good job for a captain in Carly Fuller. Foolish delivery respected by Tara Wheeler. So Clodagh Ryle conceded one boundary, but did a good job for her captain Carly Fuller. Opposing captains in the Catherine Raymond Shield 50 over final last year, both Northern Kings today. Oh, thank you. Bowling change at the southern end. Looks like Maddie Duncan has been very impressive in the field so far. Plays for Sunshine Coast. Usually right arm medium fast. But that was last season. Every now and then you get tripped up. I'm old enough to remember when Mark Waugh changed from medium pace to off spin. And even Tony Gregg wasn't told. So Carly Fuller taking her time with field placings. When you've got two experienced batters, Fuller will know Wheeler very, very well, clubmates at the Gold Coast. Plenty of experience. So at the moment, the field is actually quite spread. There are no short fielders. They're all on the 30-yard circle or outside it. There's a deep backward square leg. There's a third. No fine leg. And then a long off and a long on. Duncan. Lots of shoulder in the action. Well met by Shade, but straight to Fuller at cover. So Maddie Duncan not being brought on for a little while. I'll say this, Maddie Duncan is quicker than she was last season. Obviously she's older, but she has gained a yard of pace. I'm very impressed with these first two deliveries. Control will be an issue, but pace is not. Her length has been fantastic. That was a cross-bat shot down to Burrows at long on. And just the single. Superb start from Duncan. Bigger challenge now bowling to Wheeler. Mind you, there are bowlers far older than Duncan who find bowling to Wheeler a challenge as well. Beautiful delivery, full, just a hint of a way swing. And Wheeler knew exactly what she was facing. Don't try a big shot there. I'll just play it out to my good mate Carly at cover. Wheeler on 47. Duncan getting some good bounce. That could only be pushed towards square leg for a single. And some excellent fielding, I think, from Ryle. Out at square leg, it is Ryle. I'm not sure that Duncan will be held back this late in the innings. in future matches. She's impressed already, and we haven't even finished her first over. Bit shorter, clamped down on it, and it's just run away to third for a single. So Sharp taking advantage of really the only wide delivery that Duncan bowled this over. That's a very impressive start for Maddie Duncan. Looking forward to seeing more of her in the next half hour and indeed across the week. Other names in this Northern Kings side who we haven't mentioned it: Lucy Newman, who plays first grade for Ipswich. Brittany Staines is a second grader at the Sunshine Coast. You'll also see her sister Tara, both netballers as well, I believe, and they're from the Sunshine Coast. Holly Hogan from Valley. Charlotte Love, who I believe is from the South Burnett region. Abby Burrows has joined the Sunshine Coast now, but I think came down from the Menango. I'll go through the Pirates shortly. I actually don't know because I'm checking the outside. Oh, whoops. Uppishly played by Shade. As it's 2 for 91 after 13 overs. 91. So it's been an excellent start for the Pirates. That was me very subtly giving the score to someone who just asked me. So Wheeler on 48, Shade on 7. You as a viewer actually have more information than I do because you've got the scroll bar down the screen, but I'm looking out for Wheeler's 50. But Shade now. There's an appeal. It was definitely down leg side. They will run a leg by as the fielder at third was quite deep. And they do manage to get Wheeler back on strike as Fernley back into the attack. 20 runs off her first 3 overs. They're working hard now. We know that she can move the ball back in to the right-hander. If she gets it in the right spot, we know that Wheeler will respect it. That just tucked up Wheeler. She thought she'd have an opportunity down the leg side, and then Fernley got a little bit of extra bounce. It just popped off the pitch. And Wheeler had to put the shot away. Fernley out the back of the hand. It's tucked around the corner. There looked to be some bat. Gets one. They return for 2. We'll watch the umpire. That is 50 for Wheeler. The first 50 of the under-19 women's tournament in the Brisbane Premier League. And it goes to the trailblazer, the captain of the Bayside Pirates, Tara Wheeler. And that's pretty much why they hired her. Anchor the batting. Bring the other players around you. Stepped across to the offside there to create more opportunities for her on leg. Not sure if Fernley saw her coming, but if she did, adjusted her delivery well and a dot ball to cover. There's a ring of 3 on the offside, just a gully, a genuine cover and a wide mid-off. And then there's a deep mid-off as well, who you probably can see in shot. That back of the hand variation again, this time there will be a single as it beats the cover fielder and goes out to the boundary rider. Good throw back into Hart. So an excellent comeback from Fernley. She's finished her spell and she recovered well from a few wayward deliveries early, so she finishes with none for 23. The Pirates nearly at the 100, 2 for 95. And of course, first game of the tournament, we have no idea what a good score will be. 120, of course, is 6 and over, so that'll be the first aim for the Pirates. But when you're facing an opposition that has players like Carly Fuller, Lucinda Burke, Lucy Newman, you do wonder whether 120 will be enough. Also in the shed for the Bayside Pirates, players like Sophie Verniak, who's a first grader for Winnimanley Redlands, the combined club of the eastern suburbs and Redlands area. Haven't seen Holly Barr yet either, also of Winnimanley Redlands. Maddie Duncan, it was a good delivery, but an even better shot as Wheeler pierces the gap behind point before third for another boundary. And she marches on to 55. Shay's been there a while, but hasn't had much of the strike, just the 13 deliveries. I suspect she doesn't mind. She's enjoying the Tara Wheeler show at the other end. As the partnership reaches 39. Duncan doesn't need to change too much. Fuller delivery, drew a false shot. Excellent comeback, and possibly Wheeler's a little less comfortable on the front foot than the back foot. She's clearly very comfortable with the crossback shots on the back foot. Get her driving, see what happens. Not a bad length delivery. Oh, it just gets underneath the fielder. It's short mid-wicket and goes out to the long-on fielder for a single. Again, that was a little straighter from Duncan, but not dangerously so. Some good fielding by Brittany Staines down here at long on. So Duncan with great control so far. Foolish delivery, lofted down the ground, it'll fall safely. And again, Staines will field quite easily at long on. So Duncan pitching it up, drawing the shot. On that occasion it was well controlled by Shade. But at least Duncan gave herself a chance. Maddie Duncan. Went for the variation. And yes, sometimes they go horribly wrong, but I don't think Maddie Duncan should be too discouraged by that. You've got to try things, particularly on day one. She ties the shoelaces. The way this competition works, you get 5 points for a win, none for a loss. There's also a bonus point system, which I'll mention after this ball. And again, Duncan found the length where the ball just will not bounce. Wheeler played the length, played the crossbat shot, and very nearly lost the poles underneath her bat. Yes, if one team can manage a run rate that is 1 1/4 times greater than their opponents, they get 6 points and their opponent gets -1. That ball bounced truly. The cut shot misfielded at point, but at least she got in the way. And it will just be a signal to Wheeler. Excellent throw. Superb recovery from the point fielder to fire that one back into Elise Hart. So another good over from Maddie Duncan. And it was really only the impressive batting of Tara Wheeler that gave it any expense at all. So Duncan 11 runs off 2 overs. Wheeler 57 off 50 balls. Shave 8 off 14. And 100 did come up in that over. Apologies for missing it. 2 for 103 after 15. So 120 is definitely on the cards. In fact, at this rate, the projected score is 137. We do have a bowling change at the far end. And for the first time today, we will see Lucinda Burke. Now, I'll point out that the Northern Kings outfit is all gold. However, there have been some problems with the clothing allocation this week. So you will see a couple of players in blue pants, as one of our esteemed volunteers gets his mug on the camera. No, plenty of volunteers making this Brisbane Premier League happen. And as I repeat, I am the novelty. So Lucinda Burke, right arm fast medium, already brought herself into the game with a wonderful diving catch at point to take the first wicket of the day. But his partnership by Wheeler and Sharp has been very, very settled. 43 off 38 runs, admittedly most to Wheeler, but Shabe has, and it is pronounced Shabe, if I say Sharp, that's incorrect. She's played her role. A little floaty from Burke, but I dare say Wheeler's faced her a few times, and Burke could afford to go for the surprise early. Burke to Wheeler. Shorter, pulled away. One bounce to the fielder. As I'll explain the laughter in a moment. As Charlotte Love was very casual on the backward square leg boundary. The ball hit the ground, turned to her right, and Love just very casually stuck out the right hand, grabbed it and won, and then threw it back to Elise Hart. Extraordinary. A flattered delivery, it's crashed out to cover, it's in the air, but it will fall short of the deep cover fielder. Again, spins in two directions on the ground, but just the single for a flat-batted swipe over cover from Eloise Shabe. Again swatted towards cover, but it's well to the right of the deep cover fielder, and that will be a boundary to Tara Wheeler. Not a particularly beautiful shot, but she did what had to be done. Saw where the ball was, saw where the gap was, and connected the two. Wheeler's marching on. The 120 seems a foregone conclusion. 140 is a target. Slower ball, slapped out to cover, caught! Excellent catch at point from Holly Hogan. Wheeler went for the same shot as the previous delivery, but this time didn't get the middle of the bat. It floated out to point. Holly Hogan had a little bit of running to do, but it didn't really test her. So Wheeler is out after an excellent inning. She's done her job for her side. And she's removed. And the new batter will be Holly Barr. 17-year-old, plays for the Wynnum Manly Redlands side. And it will be interesting to see whether Barr goes straight into the aggressive role or whether Shabe goes from support role to first role. And Wheeler is quite rightly given a wonderful reception as she leaves the ground. 62 off 53 balls. Not quite reaching the 50 partnership. 62 or 54 balls, I beg your pardon. The batters didn't have time to cross, so it will be the new batter Barr on strike. But that innings from Wheeler has very much made sure that the Pirates have a defendable total. Here at Marchant Park, number 10. Despite its numeral, the main ground here at Marchant Park in Aspley. About 10 minutes walk of the north of the Chermside Shopping Centre, and about 5 minutes of those 10 minutes are spent waiting at traffic lights. Bit quicker from Burke, and not sure what that shot was from Barr. Tried to push it into the offside. So a wicket-taking introduction to the bowling attack from Lucinda Burke. She's got rid of the dangerous Wheeler, and it remains to be seen how many runs that will have saved the Kings from having to chase. Burke, of course, will be one of the keys to the run chase, but the Pirates have made sure they have a more than defendable total even now, never mind with the remaining overs in play. Maddie Duncan quite rightly to continue. It's Carly Fuller who's going into a cover position, but just making sure the field is right. She had both a deep backward square leg and a deep forward square leg. The deep backward has come into a regulation square leg. Also a fielder at deep third, long off and long on. Long on. Every time I mention a fielder, they get brought into the circle, so Brittany Staines coming into the circle at long on. Played down too long on, and excellent field placing from Carly Fuller, because bringing Staines into the circle has meant that two became just one. So with Barr on strike, Staines is now sent to the long on boundary. Possible inside knowledge from Maddie Duncan. Lofted, cotton bowl chance, just came back too quickly for Duncan. And it's parried down to Newman at log off. Newman will be key to the run chase as well, first grader for Ipswich, just 16. But played for several Queensland state sides. Duncan creating an opportunity. Hasn't had a wicket yet, and that's probably the first chance she's created, but has been very controlled. Full delivery beats the outside edge. Shabe just lifting the head, trying to move into that aggressor role. Although really at this stage of the innings, every batter has an aggressor role. And Duncan has a containing role, doing it to perfection. Slower delivery. It's played out to the boundary rider. It's a deep square leg, who came in smartly and made sure that one run was as many as they could even think about, never mind actually get. And again, there's clearly a plan with long on to bring her up for Shabe and then send her back for Barr. So Holly Barr on strike. We'll see her with the ball later as well. Duncan straight, it's lofted, and maybe, had the long on fielder been inside the circle, there was a catching opportunity there, but on the boundary, and maybe the desire to keep the runs down has cost a wicket-taking opportunity. Still had it gone for 4, maybe I'll be looking silly. Duncan shorter, swatted just over the head of Duncan. It will be 4. Not the safest shot in the world. And again, thankfully that doesn't lead to a chase. And Staines is saved the trip around the side screen. So still a good over from Duncan, created 2 caught and bowled chances, plus maybe a 3rd catching chance at long off. So she doesn't need to change too much. The chances are coming. But to the credit of the Pirates batters, they took risks and they all came off. And an excellent finish to the over. So 17 overs gone and the score is 3 for 117. I'm expecting Lucinda Burke to continue from the northern end. And indeed, that is what will happen. As I say, wearing the blue pants, not her fault, and there's a second fielder with blue pants out there as well. And that's purely just an organisational issue, nothing to do with the players. Excellent delivery, good length, and all that Barr could do with that was just keep it out. With the high backlift, just dot to cover. So Barr looking to attack, but so far not succeeding. Admittedly, she has just arrived. Burke, it's lofted, it's taken. That's a second excellent catch from Holly Hogan at point. Barr reached for that one, got underneath it, didn't really move the back foot towards the ball. It went in the air, and Hogan took a couple of steps to her right, and she's clearly got a very safe pair of hands. 3 for 117. Lucinda Burke has her second wicket in 8 balls. The new batter is Jessica Bryant, who plays for the Wests club. You may see her with the ball later as well. Eloise Shabe still at the non-strikers end, so Barr 2 or 5 deliveries. She'll have plenty of chances later in the week. So 4 for 117, and with a bit over 2.5 overs left, being only 4 down, very good position for them. So Jessica Bryant on strike. An outswinging delivery, that's beautifully played. She'll only get 1 for it. Maybe didn't move the feet the way she needed to, but put the hands through the ball, and the placement was exquisite. There's an inner ring on the offside, as I say, and it was nowhere near any of them. Straight through the gap. Shabe on strike. Full toss, probably just below the waist. It's swatted down to long on, and the catch is dropped, unfortunately. It was a good attempt, but the ball was travelling, so Shabe, after batting quite well throughout this innings, finally has a life as the catch is put down. Bad luck for Burke, but she's got 2 for. And good to see some encouragement just to make sure that fielders don't dwell on those. Wide's of delivery, tried for a slow ball, got some movement. a look here to just see how deep the Pirates bat. They're down to number 6 at the moment, which is hardly the tail. That's an overcorrection from Burke. Made sure it didn't go wide down the offside, and as so many of us do, pushed it too far the other way. But good keeping from Elise Hart. She picked that early, made sure she moved swiftly down the leg side. Good technique, as you would expect from a club that has Ian Healy as one of its owners, and I believe he's coaching the under-12 boys. Outswinger, it's lofted, it's going to land over the head of the inner ring and inside the boundary rider, so just the single. And so far, Jessica Bryant's been quite entertaining. Lofted shots into gaps, her specialty, it would appear. Lucinda Burke getting movement, bowling with good pace. Outside off, that is wide. Shade went reaching for it. And to be fair, at this stage of the innings, the worst thing you can do is concede a dot ball by hoping for a wide. If it's off the pitch, sure, leave it. This is the Mazda Brisbane Premier League, Marchant Park in Aspley. Foolish delivery. It'll just, oh, it is 4. It went just to the right of the fielder, Charlotte Love, out on the boundary, who took a very casual one-handed grab before, went for the same this time, but the ball whizzed past her. A full toss, a loose delivery from Burke, and there haven't been many of those. Swatted behind square leg for 4 runs. 2 overs remaining, and the total is 4 for 127. So they will be looking for 140, and it's up to the Kings. Duncan showed that if you bowl with control, you can both keep the runs down and take wickets. So if the Kings can keep it below 140, that will be a victory for them. And they have been impressive so far in this innings with their bowling. They just took a bit of class in Tara Wheeler to hit them off their line. Carly Fuller rigging the changes from cover. She's set a deep point. There's a long off and a long on. There's a deep square leg. Deep mid-wicket rather. Duncan attacks the off stump and will get a dot ball. This is just bunted. Run out chance at the bowler's end as Shade cops one in the butt. As the throw came in, she was backing up, as you should do in the second last over. And I sense the opportunity. Duncan hurrying through, which makes me wonder if they're just behind the over rate. It's in the air, but it's to the right of the fielder at gully and will go for 4. It was not a well-timed shot at all, but again, the placement of Jessica Bryant throughout this innings has pretty well been perfect. And so Duncan, with a rare delivery wide outside the off stump, has conceded 4 runs. Bryant into double figures. What am I talking about? I'm ahead of myself. She's on 6. I think that's the second time that Duncan has conceded 4 and then gone for the variation straight away, and it hasn't quite worked. So at this stage, maybe just back yourself to get your stock delivery right, because her stock delivery is very difficult to play with any aggression. Case in point. Superb delivery. Hart's got the ball, throwing it at the bowler's end, just misses the stumps. And it may have been interesting, may have been curtains for Bryant if Hart had hit. Was a little bit slow to initially chase the ball, but made up good ground. And Bryant gets an inelegant single. Duncan wide, it's bunted. It'll just be a single down to Newman at long off. And a nice gentle throw back into Maddie Duncan. Well played from Shade. Not really in danger of being caught, despite the depth perception issue we have from this end of the ground. Slower delivery, over cover. It's going to fall short of the deep cover fielder, who's making good ground to the ball. Good save. Just knocked it back. Hasn't gone over the boundary. There's just a bit of a conference. Oh, actually, that which has had well back there, that's not a boundary. That's not a boundary. As the commentator pretends he's an umpire suddenly. Once upon a time, not for about 15 years. But some good fielding, I think from Lucinda Burke, way out on the deep cover boundary. Bryant on strike to Duncan. Down the leg side, concedes the single, but the intent was clear. Bryant on 9, Shabe on 21. Just slower than a runner ball, but she's played an important role for her side today. 7 balls remaining in this innings. That's an excellent ball. Bryant hoping for the wide, but it quite simply wasn't one. 1 over remaining, 4 for 137. Just a couple of loose deliveries from Duncan in that over, who's had an impressive spell. 4 overs conceded 29, but she bowled better than that.
Ball, Matt.
And so 1 over remaining. It looks like the Pirates will get to that 140 mark we were talking about before. I say we, there's just me here. I am plural. Hart's been tidy behind the stumps.
Close it out here, Carly. Go.
And Carly Fuller, trailblazer, captain, will come on from that southern end. 2 overs for 22 early in the innings, bowled during the power play, and there was an error made. The rules in this competition are that there's a 4 over power play at the start of the innings, and then the batting team can take a 2 over power surge any time between the 10th and 20th overs. Unfortunately, the umpires, for whatever reason, didn't apply that. They simply played a 6 over power play at the beginning of the innings. So we'll do that for the second innings of this match, and then correct it for future matches. Unfortunate, but we'll carry the error for the end of the match. Full toss, swatted out to cover, well fielded on the boundary. Yes, it is. Some good work by Lucy Newman out on the cover boundary. They've been able to run 2, so not Fuller's best delivery, and some nice swatting as 2 runs are conceded. Eloise Sharp, 4 for 139. Again swatted. That beats the cover fielder and will also beat the deep cover. Newman, valiant attempt on the boundary. I stand corrected. Newman's done superbly. And again 2 runs. And Lucy Newman showing her value in the outfield. But again, a wide delivery from Fuller and given the treatment by Eloise Shade. It is Shade. Get there, Daniel. Fuller with a better delivery, and that'll just be a single down to long off. Shade used the feet well. And that brings Bryant on strike. Bryant's placement has been very good. Fuller has a deep square leg, and yet she's bowling full outside off stump. I suspect that might be a wasted fielder out there, unless she's planning on attacking the body of Bryant. It's a short, fine leg as well. Deep third. Fuller's delivery and played rather daintily by Bryant, but it wasn't timed and just spilled out to, I believe that's Burke at short cover. Two balls remaining. And a dot ball. Second last bowl of the innings to produce, second last ball of the innings to produce a ball of that quality. That's why you pay for trailblazers like Carly Fuller. So the final delivery of the innings. It'll just be bunted into the offside for a single. Very safe fielding from Holly Hogan. And a superb innings from the Bayside Pirates. The 20 overs expire with 4 for 143 on the board. The top scorer was Tara Wheeler, the captain, with 62 off 54. 11 boundaries in that innings as well. Eloise Shade batted well in a support role initially and then attacking towards the end. She finished with 26 not out of 25. And then Dahlia Glennie just, had a good little innings at number 3 with 13 off 17. The bowling figures, Lucinda Burke was definitely got the breakthroughs, getting 2 for 16 off her 2 overs. Clodagh Ryle was superb early with 1 for 20 off her 4. Tasman Gandhi was the other wicket taker with 1 for 24 off 3. And Ella Fernley, none for 23 off her 4, just a few down leg side. And I will pay special tribute to Maddie Duncan, who's none for 29 off 4. Didn't really tell the story. So, we're going to take a break for about 10 minutes, but we'll be back to see the Northern Kings attempt to chase down 144 for victory. This is the Brisbane Premier League, brought to you by Mazda, here at Marchant Park, Aspley.
Just realised something.
Yes. And in the same field at 2 o'clock?
Yeah, 6, oval 6.
Yes. No, give me a second. I didn't mean to sort of push you out as well.
No, this is the news one.
I believe so. I wasn't here when they...
It's good for me, mate.
No, sorry, it's reverted to coming up with fields 1, 2 and 3 again for the women's. Oh, no, hang on, I went to my cricket before, that was it. I knew I had a brain for a reason.
Geez, you're very good, mate. I could sit and listen to you all day.
That's very kind, thank you, cheers.
This rolls beautiful.
You
do your research, obviously.
I'm a bit of a finicky research. I like to... I hate it when a commentator's just turned up. And...
How'd you go?
There we go. Thank you, right. So number 6 at 2 o'clock is the Coastal Marlins versus the Gold Coast Wave Riders. The Coastal Marlins, light blue outfits with orange numbers that simply cannot be seen. It's the one...
So the Gold Coast Riders stay on the same ground.
That's right, and they're in the orange blues.
should be over here.
I know what you're saying, but
Yeah, well, I'll say good day to Jeff next time I say it.
do.
Not much, but I did work with him last 2 weeks ago and we had a chat about life.
Oh, he's a lovely guy.
He still plays footy. He was showing me his grand final he played.
Yeah, it's for South Toowoomba Bulldogs? Bombers.
So does he travel all that way every week?
Yeah, no, he's a typical country boy. I just get him in the car and so selfie work like that. Now, I suspect the effects might be outside softly, so we'll just sorry, that's meant to be a warning, not instruction. Sorry. Would you like to? I've got a second mic. Would you like to jump on for a little while?
Potentially.
Sure.
Potentially.
Sure. What we'll do, the way I do it with the vision, I'll have a instruction. So basically, when the bowler's running up, no talk, just respect that. I'll do it for like the play by play, but then I'll try to do it for it, and then you analyse the play.
Yeah, just a field setting.
So let me unravel this for you.
I might just. My wife.
Yep. Oh, you don't need to be. Oh, okay. So I'll set up for when you're ready.
Yeah.
But no, you owe me nothing. So yeah.
Bit of company.
So that's off at the moment.
So look what I'm sticking in here.
No, this one is a clip-on, so so clip it on the collar about 15 centimetres from the face. Sure, you're away. Extension cord today, which is good. 143. Tara Wheeler. Do you know about the Trailblazer system with this comp? It's an under 19 comp, but before the draft, each side was allowed to have 4 Trailblazers. They could be anything up to 23. And as long as they didn't have a contract, like state squad or anything like, as in the Fire or the Kings, then the idea is that you pick 4 players and then they guide the younger players. So Tara Wheeler is still involved.
Yeah, exactly.
So she's captain. Same with Carly Fuller, who captains the Gold Coast side. She's number 1 for the Kings. She's about 21, I think. So it's like Olympic men's football, and I think it works.
So each side's got.
That's right, yeah. Although the Southern Rockets didn't name who theirs were, and I haven't been able to find out who theirs, so hopefully before I get them, I'll get some information. Don't want to tell me things, don't get me. Exactly, don't you know? You only have 2 minutes.
Yeah, 15. We're going to 6 months ago. 8 days. No, please do.
Showtime. Welcome back to the Under-19 women's competition in the first Mazda Brisbane Premier League. We are at Marchant Park in Aspley in the very north of Brisbane, but for the first time in the Brisbane Premier League we are in Brisbane. The previous matches have all been played at Ipswich and Redlands. The Kings are chasing 144 to win. The number 1 you can see on your screen at the moment, at least I hope you can, yes you can, is Carly Fuller, captain of the Northern Kings and an outstanding first grader for the Gold Coast. The non-striker I believe is Lucinda Burke, but I will get that confirmed. The 20 overs of action at Marchant Park. If you want to catch up on the other games, download the Brisbane Premier League app. Rather a lot of information there. You can follow any game you like. There are frog boxes, that's the name of the camera system, on at least 1 game of each of the men's junior competitions. But Fuller to face the first delivery in this run chase. Down the leg side, swatted. It will fall in front of the short fine leg fielder. Fumbled. And unfortunately the second pickup wasn't successful either. So beginning with a boundary is Carly Fuller. It is Lucinda Burke at the non-striker's end, wearing the blue pants because the yellow pants didn't materialise, no pun intended. And unfortunately Holly Barr's first delivery is down the leg side. Holly Barr from the Wynnum Manly Redlands first grade team, Carly Fuller from the Gold Coast and Lucinda Burke from Valleys. The beauty of this franchise system, mix and match. Barr doesn't find her line again. This one, much better fielding on the boundary from from Bonnie Berry. She sends it back to the keeper, which means we get our first look at the left-handed Holly Barr. I apologise, the left-handed Lucinda Burke. I will make mistakes and I apologise for all of them. All of them. But the Northern Kings off to a good start, none for 5 off 2. And I am keeping an eye on the live chat on the YouTube stream. Talk to me, people. You know anything about these players I don't? Let's have a conversation. If I make mistakes, I want to know. If the camera goes offline, we had a bird land on the camera during the men's competition and 14 overs of 1 innings were spent facing square leg. Barterbeck. And Burke adopting a very sensible approach of saying, I'm just going to check the bounce out before I go playing extravagant shots. And luckily for her, Bar put that far enough outside the off peg for her to just have a little glance at it. Glance with the eyes, not with the... You know what I'm talking about, I'm going to shut up. Excellent bounce. Put a lot of shoulder into that and probably hit the seam. I'm not going to pretend I can see the seam from this far away, but nice bit of extra bounce from Holly Barr. Has been called one over the shoulder, which I thought was slightly harsh. Says the person 70 metres away from the action. But getting a good look at this. Swats it over square leg. What am I talking about? Deep mid wicket. One bounce, two bounces, and that's 4 runs. A brutal shot from Lucinda Burke. She had 2 balls to get used to the bounce. Was pretty sure she knew what was doing with the 3rd delivery. And possibly Barr paying the price for not varying her length. But superb hitting from Lucinda Burke on that occasion. And the old false start. And look, I support bowlers doing that. If you're not quite ready, don't quite have head and body in the right place, go back until you do. The run chase is on. Played uppishly through cover. That's going to split the gap and go out to the cover boundary for 4. It was a little dangerous, but the placement was good enough. There is a ring of fielders on the offside, and it went through all of them. So an excellent first over for the Kings. They get this run chase off to a flyer. And thank you to, I'm going to pronounce this all French-like, Louis Valombier, who says Tara Wheeler's her cousin. And you can be very proud of your cousin today. Her 62 was an excellent part of this innings. As 3 wave riders elect not to get their mugs on the camera, thank you very much. But we will see the wave riders in action later in the week. So a good first over. And it is a festival of junior cricket out here. There are some elite cricketers in the under-19 women's competition. Other than that, come on out to Marchant Park, wander around the grounds, and you might just see some future stars. Speaking of future stars, 15 years old, Bonnie Berry to bowl the first over from the southern end of the ground. That's where we're watching from. I must confess, I've done a lot of research this week, but I couldn't find out much about Bonnie Berry. So if you know her and know what she does, which club she plays for, let me know on the YouTube stream. Good pace. Just didn't quite carry through to Dahlia Glennie with the gloves. But plenty of pace there from Bonnie Berry. Looks a good prospect. Dahlia Glennie with the gloves from northern New South Wales, but moved up to the Gold Coast. I'm going to say Kyogle. I think Dahlia Glennie might have come up from Kyogle. I'm happy to be corrected there. Wide outside the off stump and called so, but I am impressed with the pace of Bonnie Berry after 2 deliveries. Good start. Carly Fuller on strike. Fuller's delivery drew the inside edge, and that's a victory for Berry. Fuller over 100 games in the Catherine Raymond Shield. Berry, one of the lesser known players, and I mean no disrespect when I say that. She doesn't have a Brisbane grade club knocking on the door already. She may have changed that in 3 deliveries. Good length. And all Fuller can do with that is very respectfully push it out to cover, where Tara Wheeler's able to field and then offer a few words of encouragement to Berry. Showing a lot of good intent here, Berry. And Fuller not rushing things. kept out. Full of respect for Bonnie Berry. Now I can confirm there will be a 6-over power play in this innings and then no power surge. That was simply an error of the rules not being communicated to the umpires. It will be 4 overs and then a 2-over power surge for the rest of the tournament. Full swatted, and it did pick the gap between cover and mid-off. And a beautifully placed cover drive from Carly Fuller yields 4 runs. And probably the only loose delivery, actually there was a wide, so, but very rare loose deliveries from Berry. I've just been corrected. Yvette Fuller, thank you Yvette, has told me it's Carly originally from Kyogle. The Northern New South Wales presence is strong within the force. Played on! No less a reward than she deserved, Berry. It's been a superb over. Fuller just hit her for 4 through cover. That one tucked her up. It was a little bit shorter of length. It was that perfect do I go forward, do I go back length. And Bonnie Berry has a major scalp, dismissing the Kings captain, Carly Fuller. It's 1 down. The Kings have a stumble in their run chase. The new batter, I believe, is Brittany Staines. I'll just get that confirmed for you. If it is, she's from the Sunshine Coast Club. Yes, number 10, Brittany Staines. And I don't like to make a big deal of sisters because brothers and sisters normally spend their whole life getting unfair comparisons, but you will see Tara Staines playing for a different franchise. I believe the Bourton Magic, but I'm happy to be corrected on that. Elsewhere in this tournament. The Magic we actually don't see till Wednesday, and that'll be out at the magnificent Peter Burge Oval, which is the first grade ground of the Redlands Club, which probably the most famous current player at that club is Marnus Labuschagne. He was on KO Freebies recently, scored 6 and took 1 for 90. He's a bit better than that. Wide delivery, well kept by Glennie. As Holly Barr overcompensated down the offside. So the left-handed Burke remains. Tara Staines, done it again. Brittany Staines at the non-striker's end. I do care, I'm just incompetent. Shorter delivery, just held up on the pitch, but it's swatted down to the boundary rider, a deep square leg, just the single, which will bring Staines on strike to Holly Barr. So Staines hasn't cracked the first grade squad at Sunshine Coast yet, to my knowledge. If she has, it's only for a game or 2. But when your first team is the Catherine Raymond Shield champions, it's worth persisting and breaking into. Good delivery from Barr, down the leg side but not called wide because had Staines not moved so far to the offside, it would have crashed into her thigh. Staines, very open batting stance, the right foot's a fair way to her rush. Beautiful length delivery. Top of middle stump, didn't hit the stumps, it hit the bails. And Staines, maybe she has to rethink that open stance because she did give Barr not only a good look at the stumps, but full access to them. And the idea of that open stance is normally it allows you to have better footwork, and on that occasion, Brittany Staines had none. So she's gone, 2nd wicket down for the Northern Kings. And the Bayside Pirates are doing an excellent job of defending 143, which looked a good total anyway. It looks even better now they've got it 2 down. Looks like Maddie Duncan is the new batter. I'll just get that confirmed for you. But the bowling...
So you can sit? Like sitting in the sun?
So just being shown concern because I'm in the sun at the moment. I'm told a marquee is being brought for me. But I can assure you I'm the least important person at this field. It's all about the players, it's all about the fans, it's all about the families. You watching, the families and friends of the players. And in fact, it's Lucy Newman, the Ipswich first grader, who was brilliant in the outfield today. She's in at number 4. Opens for Ipswich, but number 4 today. Leading edge, caught! Barr is on a hat-trick. A sure catch taken by Jessica Bryant at short third. Newman tried to turn that to leg, got the leading edge. It flew to short third. Holly Barr's got her radar well and truly working. 2 wickets in 2 balls. Holly Barr is on a bit of a run. Very assured catching from Jessica Bryant. And the Bayside Pirates, captained by Tara Wheeler. Holly Barr, a little loose in her first over. Bonnie Berry got a lot more right than she got wrong in her over. Got the wicket as well. And Lucy Newman, who is no slouch as a first grade batter, is back in the sheds for a golden duck. She'll have 5 more opportunities. It's an 8-team comp. Each team will play 6 games. So there's 1 team that each team will not play. That's just all the games that could be fitted into the time available. Should be said, however, both the senior men's and under-19 men's finals were played between 2 teams that hadn't met during the tournament. So it did lead to a more exciting climax. Elise Hart, the wicket-keeper for the Kings, who kept very tidily in the innings, but now comes in the hat-trick ball. And for some reason, we don't have 5 slips at a gully. That's really what you're supposed to do on the hat-trick ball. Holly Barr. Not as bad. Was playing for the outside edge, maybe just got it a little bit short. And Hart had the nous to just say, look, I'm not going anywhere near that one. Only 2 fielders behind the wicket. Bryant's at gully, and then there's a backward square. A full delivery. And the sound you heard was bat on ground from Hart. Superb over from Elise Hart. 2 wickets. The Kings are 3 down after 3 overs. And the Pirates on fire. And dare I say it, outdoing their men's teams already. Tara Wheeler very active in the field. Now you can't measure a captain's performance simply by how much they do, how much pointing they do. But Wheeler is very much hands-on in her approach with her bowlers, particularly when you've got 15-year-olds. I mean, they're not even in senior high school. And Wheeler is just that bit older. She's 22. Making sure that her team has every bit of support they need. Burke on strike. That kept low, that's bowler! A little bit of luck because the ball didn't bounce. It hit the pitch and went flat. And Burke has been bowled by a skidder. The Pirates are well on top at the moment. And Bonnie Berry has been unearthed here at the Mazda Brisbane Premier League. Been very impressed with Berry so far. Dismissing Burke, yes, there was a little bit of luck because that ball simply didn't bounce normally. We've seen some high bounce. We've seen a bit of low bounce in this pitch as well. Two-paced is the phrase that's normally used to describe it. But it's not like the bowler goes out and rolls the pitch and puts the dead spots there. And Burke's been out there long enough to see what the pitch has been doing. However, the experience keeps coming for the Northern Kings because we've got a premiership captain in Clodagh Ryle coming to the crease. I believe is another left-hander, a good sprinkling of left-handers. Left-handers, of course, are better people, apart from anything else. No bias at all. But Bonnie Berry making an impression in the morning of the first day of the Brisbane Premier League, brought to you by Mazda. Strays down the leg side, do not be discouraged, Bonnie. You keep bowling rockets and see what happens. So the Kings looking to rebuild. It will take a couple of overs for them to settle. They've been pushed well onto the back foot, literally and figuratively. Outside off, guided, down to third. The third fielder has a long chase and does superbly. Keeps it to 1, and that is excellent fielding, which will bring Elise Hart onto strike. So Berry, with the rare opportunity to bowl to a right-hander, has Tufa, as does her bowling partner in Holly Barr. Again, foolish but down the leg side. She looks a little exasperated, she shouldn't. If you've got the pace, give yourself permission to just have a couple of loose ones, because you know your good ones are wicket-taking deliveries. It's clearly excellent recruitment from the Bayside Pirates. Again, skidding through. There's clearly a little dead patch at that end of the field, end of the pitch rather. Again, nothing to do with Berry. If she's good enough to hit it, it's her good fortune. But anyone batting at the far end at field 10 today should probably just notice that there is a bit of a two-paced nature about this pitch. Elise Hart, looking for something to give the Kings confidence. Wisely lets that one go. And again, I'm on an angle and I can't see perfectly, but I swear there's some outswing there for Bonnie Berry. Of course, the fact that she's 15, we've got 17-year-old Darcy Brown from the Australian side at the moment. The only bad thing about watching this BPL this week is missing some of the women's internationals from Mackay. And that's why you don't need to be discouraged. Good enough keeping from Glennie's slight fumble. But if Berry keeps bowling with pace, just wear the odd wide, because good deliveries can do that.
Could we even shuffle this a tad?
I've got 10 meetings, that's how much.
We don't have a tent, we want to get you out of the sun.
Gotcha, okay, sure.
Yeah.
We'll work.
So the next game, let's cord it over there, and I'll just put bags, whatever we need, so people don't trip on it. I'll get bollards.
I have to take it.
Yeah, done. Excellent. Well, I can put orange bollards right on top of it as well, just so people don't kick it, because it's going to be a long cable.
Thanks very
You
much.
good with that? Because these girls are going to go, because that's where Buey and the merch is supposed to be anyway.
Sure.
He's just not here yet.
Gotcha.
So we might have to, if we have to.
Sure.
But you, at the minimum, need to go over there out of the sun. Done.
Good. And apologies for talking shop for a few deliveries there. The aim of that was not to get the commentator burnt to a crisp, but it's not about the commentator. It's about the Kings and the Pirates at the moment. Berry bowling superbly. We do have a bowling change. Sophie Verniak, the right arm medium pacer from the Wynnum Manly Redlands club, struggled a little last year, Wynnum Manly Redlands, but they are a side on the rise. A lot of young talent and a fair bit of guidance coming through as well. And of course, Wynnum Manly Redlands is 2 clubs, and I believe at the level below, in the Jodie Fields Shield, they do play a separate team. But in first grade, they combine resources, Wynnum Manly and Redlands, from Eastern Suburbs powerhouse. And Verniak with a slinging action on the mark straight away. And King's priority number 1 right now is not to collapse. Good work from Verniak. Just turned. It was a bit of a double hit from Clodagh Ryle, but is at least able to turn the strike over, which has been difficult against some quality fast bowling. The Pirates do have a spinning option in Wheeler herself. I've seen the keeper Dahlia Glennie bowl left arm spin, but unfortunately it has to be said she definitely bowls like a wicket keeper. But her batting and glove work is usually excellent. deep fielders on the offside. Good line from Vernier. Can only be punched into the inner ring of fielders where it's fielded fairly comfortably by Gabby McRae. Thank you to everyone tuning into this live stream. I am keeping an eye on the YouTube chat if you have information or complaints. Swing and a miss. Elise Hart making the decision to get on with it, and maybe not picking the ball with which to get onto it. On with it. Prepositions, Daniel. Experienced player, Hart. Tried to play a back foot shot off the front foot, so Vernier's length is causing indecision in the mind of Elise Hart. Very controlled bowling from Vernier. Gets onto that one, although again I wouldn't recommend a cut shot off the front foot off middle stump, but a good start from Sophie Vernier. She has a sister Melanie, who I also plays for Winnimanley Redlands. I don't think she's in this competition, but I'm happy to be corrected. So after 5 overs, the Pirates well on top. Four for 24. And look, I'll be honest, it is difficult to see the Kings coming back from that and winning this match, but 2 aims. One is to not concede the bonus point. So they have to get 80% of the Pirates' total. So that will be in the realm of 112, 113. I haven't quite worked it out exactly. The bowling change at the southern end sees Gabby McRae into the attack. Not a great start, and the only indecision with the umpires was whether to call it wide or no ball. They have gone for the no ball for being above waist height, which means we do have a free hit. So a big opportunity for Clodagh Ryle here to get the Kings innings moving. So McRae, it's a lengthy run up. Another moon ball. That's probably a second no ball, actually. It is a second no ball. 2 above the waist. I don't think they'll be going through the warning process where if you bowl 3 above the waist, you'll be taken off here, unless it's dangerous. But McRae, she has the advantage at this stage that her bowling teammates have put the Pirates well on top, so she has time and space to get her rhythm. This one is able to be hit by Ryle down to the fine leg boundary, a very wide fine leg boundary for 4. So McRae's struggling a little at the moment, but the recruiters have clearly seen something in her. It's 4 for 30, and it's good to be giving her an opportunity when there's time and space early in the tournament. So McRae looking to land a few. It's been discouraging so far. She should not be discouraged. Another full delivery down the leg side. This one's caught wide. It did dip below the waist. If you're Clodagh Ryle, I guess the decision you have to make now is, do you semi-prepare for a ball that's going to be full down the leg side, preempt? Of course, the danger there is that if you get too excited, you can suddenly find yourself facing a good ball and losing your off peg. Got a good length, again down the leg side, missed by Glennie. It's gone underneath her gloves. It has been fielded and kept in to minimise the damage. So right-hander on strike, which may suit McRae better. Getting comfort from Wheeler, that's excellent captaincy. I've played in sides where if you start bowling like that, I've had captains come to me and say, right, get it right or you're off. Never helped anyone. But Wheeler made sure she's looking after a young pacer. She can now bowl to the right-handed Hart. Much better light. Just went underneath Bryant. Will be fielded in the deep. But excellent bowling from Gabby. I guess the only thing wrong from her perspective is that it went for a single, which has brought the left-hander back on strike. So maybe this is something she has to learn. Bowling to left-handers is not something you always get the opportunity to do. And it is a different art. Orient your body differently. Ryle went for it, missed by Glennie as it landed at her shoe. Bryant will do the cleaning up. Ryle was trying to get back for a second, but 2 wides, 1 for the wide penalty, and then 1 run added to the score. So it is an expensive over for McRae, but definitely worth the opportunity. See what she's got early in the tournament. Gives the coaches a chance to look at her under match conditions. I'm sure that they'll be pointing out things that they can teach her already. Right outside the off stump. So McRae, this is a big occasion. And as the Brisbane Premier League, there's a camera staring down the field. There's a middle-aged guy describing everything she's doing. It's not always easy to get things together in these kind of conditions. Stuck inside the wide line. Elise Hart looking at the umpire with a slightly quizzical expression. Later on, coming down the pitch saying, look, just don't play for the wide. Do not play for the wide. If it's out wide, use that rather expensive 140 you've got there. So it's still a little bit to go. She may even be advised to just cut the run up for a few balls and just make sure she lands 3 on the pitch. Excellent ball. She got the edge. They've appealed for it. She's got a wicket. That's a magnificent comeback from Gabby McRae. Didn't lose heart. Kept it on line. That one was just back of a length. And Elise Hart, who has been watching balls go wide outside her off stump, didn't move the feet correctly when she got one on line, edged it through. Glennie took the catch, and that has surely put a big smile across the face of Gabby McRae. An entertaining first over in the Brisbane Premier League, still 2 balls to come. Hart departs. Ella Fernley from the Gold Coast Club makes her way to the wicket. I believe we still have 2 deliveries left. The Kings 5 for 38. It's a long tournament, so the first target is to see if they can get to 113 so they don't go to -1 points. Put the Pirates out on 6. But of course the other aim is just to make sure that you give your players some experience and confidence going through the remaining 5 matches. That hit the dead patch. There's definitely something going on at that far end. And I'm not criticising the groundsman. If you've ever grounds person, I don't know that it's men. If you've ever tried preparing a wicket, it's not just a case of rolling everything back and forward and mowing. It's a lot of work that goes into preparing a wicket. Full toss, played to cover. Wheeler fields well, but they do get the single. A little bit of a fumble from Wheeler at cover. McRae finishes her over. 1 for 15 from it. And I hope for her sake she takes a lot of heart from the one, because she got it right. Got the length perfect, forced indecisive footwork, and got a caught behind decision. And so the Kings 5 for 39 after 6 overs. That's the power play over. And as I say, for future games, it will be a 4-over power play within a 2-hour power, 2-over power surge. A 2-hour power surge will be a little bit disconcerting, but a 2-over power surge can really get your innings going. Played uppishly towards cover and well fielded. They won't take a single to that, as Vernier continues from the northern end. Pirates on top, Kings playing for pride. Ella Fernley bowled well from that northern end earlier today. Vernier with a floater, it was outside off stump, and Fernley's feet moved away from the ball. Vernier on line, and it was only a bit of outswing that saw that not rattle the timber. Fernley not really watching the ball onto the bat. I don't have the exact age for Ella Fernley, but she's only about 14. It's done well for the Gold Coast so far. Beautiful. It's probably the best non-wicket taking ball we've seen in this match. She got extra bounce, was right on line and nearly took the outside edge of Fernley. Well done, Sophie Vernier. I don't know how it's missing. I do not know how Vernier is missing the stubs at the moment. There does seem to be some outswing there for her, and I hope she doesn't lose that. And that is a magnificent finish to an over. It was equally magnificent from Sophie Vernier. She's gained a little bit of pace since last year as well. Certainly got some swing. And she had Ella Fernley all at sea in that over from the northern end. Here at Marchant Park number 10, which will be your home of under-19 women's cricket for the next 2 days. 6 games you'll see here. 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock both today and tomorrow. And then we move out to the Redlands Cricket Ground, to the magnificent Peter Burge Oval. If you don't know who Peter Burge is, ask your father or grandfather, but short version, middle order batsman for Australia in the 1960s, and played a magnificent innings on the 1964 Australian Tour of England. If you're ever having trouble sleeping one night, call me round and I'll explain it all to you. And a bowling change, Amarine Carlin, now playing for Winnimanley Redlands. I believe she was at Valley last year, and you can tell she's a good spinner because she rubbed the pitch with her hand. That's what good spinners do. Even if you're not a good spinner, always look like a good spinner by just rubbing the bowling crease with your hand before you bowl. But spin introduced to the Pirates attack for the first time today. Amarine Carlin looking for some early confidence. Under no pressure from a match situation. It's top-edged into the leg side. It just fell behind Wheeler and in front of McRae. And so Clodagh Ryle gets a streaky single as the leg spin of Amarine Carlin nearly gained a reward early. Fernley out to meet it. It's heading towards mid-on, but just on the one bounce to Abby Kernis, who took it well and snuffed out any chance of an addition to the score. Carlin to Fernley. Swatted into the leg side. It's between the two fielders in the inner ring and will be fielded on the boundary by Eloise Shabe. Batted very well at number 3 before. So left-handed Ryle on strike. There are some captains who don't believe a right-arm leg spinner should bowl to a left-hander. I couldn't agree less. If you're bowling well, you can bowl to anyone. Carlin just sat for Ryle, and so she played a cross-batted shot into the leg side, and Wheeler was onto it sharply at mid-wicket. Carlin getting a lot of turn. That went straight to square leg, where McRae seems to have a good throwing arm, actually. That only came in from square leg, but it came in hard to Glennie. He's taken 1 catch today off the bowling of McRae. And Ryle faces Carlin. Plenty of revs on the ball from Carlin. That one didn't really bounce. Placed perfectly by Ryle. That's a boundary behind square leg. And the reason that it's still being chased by McRae is because there's a hill beyond the boundary, and that can add about 20 metres to your journey if you let it go too far. But a good finish to the over from Ryle. Good to see Carlin putting plenty of revolutions on the ball. She's clearly a proper spin bowler who really wants to rip it. Maybe just needs to work on getting a bit more overspin so that it bounces, but the raw ingredients are there for Amarine Carlin. King's still well and truly on top. Looks to be Vernier to continue from the northern end. And bowling to Ella Fernley. Vernier definitely getting swing, and of course Glennie coming up to the stumps just to keep Fernley in her crease, and there was a misfield. Called no ball, that's a front foot no ball. It's gone through for a bye as well, so because it's a bye off a no ball, that will in fact be recorded as 2 no balls. So that's one situation where the bye is actually debited against the bowler. 4 byes off a no ball, 5 no balls. Keeper doesn't have to pay for it, the bowler does. So a free hit for Clodagh Ryle. The batter's cross, so the field can be changed. Alice Hayes moves to 3rd man from long leg. Punched into the offside by Ryle. It's a bit of a chase for Hannah Schultz, and she in fact leaves it for the boundary rider coming in. So just the single to Clodagh Ryle. So these 2 batters, Fernley and Ryle for the Kings, they look very assured, but they possibly don't have the acceleration to win the match for the Kings. Lovely ball and played uppishly towards mid-off. A short company calls it, but I don't think there's any real need for a short company. Covered. As the wind takes over, nothing better for a commentator than competing with the wind. It may just work against Vernier's outswing. Indecisive footwork from Fernley, but she did manage to get it away to mid-on. Just for the single. Scoreboard ticks over. But yes, the wind blowing from right to left across your screen, and of course Vernier's trying to swing it the other way. Moved it back towards Ryle. She played it towards Bryant in the white pants. If you're wearing white pants, the first thing you try to do is get a grass stain on them. So she slid towards that ball. Wasn't necessary, but I'm sure it was fun. Bit of a moon ball from Vernier. Not a great delivery, and just punched into the offside by Ryle for 1. Awkward throw. Glennie misfielded, but the batters just weren't awake to the possibility of an overthrow. So, not taken. So for the Pirates, their opportunity is to get the bonus point, go to 6 points after one game. It's in a 6-game competition, getting that one extra point can be the difference between either a final spot or not, or getting first place or not, to get a slightly easier matchup in the semi-finals. Wheeler's been very active in the field. It's been impressive captaincy, both from a player management point of view and from a field setting point of view. Carlin to continue. Turned by Ryle, but the field is set so well. This time the batters were alert to the possible even overthrow, but it was backed up well. So Carlin keeping Ryle quiet. Lofted, oh! Ryle kept her back foot anchored, which snuffed out any stumping chance, but she was definitely tempted by Carlin. That was excellent bowling, landed on a good length. Similar length, bunted down to deep mid-on, where it will be fielded quite calmly by Alice Hayes. And impressive from Carlin. Now gets the chance to bowl to the right-handed Fernley and hopefully turn it away. Be interested to see if Carlin has a quicker delivery. Slightly flatter, that's a bit of a cross-bat swat, which yields no run to Shade at mid-wicket. And as the Brisbane Premier League from Marchant Park, Aspley, Kings versus Pirates. Only just got some bash on that. That was dangerous from Fernley. Good to have the confidence to leave the crease. Probably should have kept the head down and watched the ball onto the bat. Plenty of temptation from Carlin. Resisted on that occasion by Fernley. She's got a good rhythm going, Carlin, floating it up. Well, actually, she's not floating it up, she's spinning it up. It's proper wrist spin bowling from Amarine Carlin. It's been impressive to watch. So at the halfway point of the innings, the Kings are 5 for 51. The required run rate is over 9. And to be fair, they simply haven't looked like scoring 9 and over. Tara Wheeler, captain, trailblazer, leg spinner, brings herself on from the northern end. Good spell from Berniak, and she's still got one left for later in the innings. So even if the Kings double their score now, they'd still concede the bonus point. So it would be 6 points to the Pirates and -1 to the Kings. It's able to be overcome, just not really the way you want to start. Swatted to leg side, that may be into the gap. No, the boundary rider does have it, so just a signal to Ryle. More of a bowling all-rounder, Clodagh Ryle. Her left arm medium fast deliveries are generally of good value. She was with the Sunshine Coast last year. She's listed on My Cricket this year as having played for both Sunshine Coast and Ipswich, so I have to catch up and see exactly who she's playing for in the 21-22 season. Swatted, caught. It wasn't the most vicious delivery from Wheeler, but Fernley just swatted it into the leg side and it was caught at mid-wicket. A slightly lazy dismissal, but when the run rate required is 9, you do draw mistakes from the batters. So Fernley, having batted with assurance for a while, now has to depart. And that's 6 wickets down for the Northern Kings. And the Bayside Pirates march continues. The new batter looks like Tasman Gandhi. He bowled some good off spin earlier in the day. I'll be interested to see how she develops across the week. The wicket to Tara Wheeler. 62 runs with the bat. And a catch taken by Michaela Montgomery. Apologies for not identifying her earlier, but it's on the scoreboard, our score sheet now. Wheeler to Gundy. Short, Gundy just plays it gently to mid-wicket, where Hannah Schultz fields easily. Wheeler, floaty leg spinners. Gets Gundy on the front foot and she squeezes a single down to third as Alice Hayes throws to the bowler's end. So Gundy off the mark and brings the left-handed Ryle onto strike against Wheeler. Wheeler active with her field placings, pushes Hayes back. There's a short third in the form of Holly Barr. No fielders out. Short in the leg side, and the fielder who's been brought in is Eloise Shabe on the circle at mid-wicket. In fact, I cannot see a fielder outside the circle. Wheeler's decided that Ryle doesn't have the power to get over the top, so bring everyone in. Cut shot, but straight to the fielder at short cover. They've run a single, direct hit, that's a run out. Superb fielding. The throw came in from cover. Gandhi not particularly quick out of the blocks as Ryle called her through. It needed a direct hit, and that's exactly what was provided. And the Kings, sadly for them, it does look like they are going to be conceding the bonus point. 7 down now for 53. Ryle looking for it. I think it might have been Hannah Schultz with the direct hit run out, but I will confirm that for you. Apologies again for not recognising it straight away. I do want to make sure that you get up to the minute, up to the second work straight away. In fact, it's been credited to Michaela Montgomery again. So 2 excellent interventions in the one over. I think the scoreboard might have shown that Ryle was run out. It was in fact Gandhi who made her way back. So at the crease now, the Kings hoping for something, anything. It was the end of the over. And Carlin continues. Ryle goes round the corner, wrong foots the fielder at backwards square leg, and that does go to the boundary for 4. I think that was Bonnie Berry who just saw the ball spin in front of her. And a rare boundary for the Northern Kings. Well done, Clodagh Ryle, saw the gap in the field and was able to put Carlin through the gap. So Ryle continues, facing Carlin. Further outside off, again Ryle tries to hit through the leg side, possibly ill-advised. Holly Hogan is the new batter for the Northern Kings. Carlin with great control. Tosses it up for Ryle, lofted into the offside, but it's through the gap, that's 4 runs. Much better batting from Clodagh Ryle, saw it outside off stump, didn't try to do anything too tricky, just saw where the offside fielders were and pierced the gap superbly. King's batter, if the bat like, he's still got a chance because the match isn't over. This is the commentator writes you off, means nothing. Top edged. It's into the leg side field and it's fallen in between 2 fielders. So a bit of luck there for Clodagh Ryle, who hits the top of her head as if to suggest that's the bit of her body she didn't use when playing that shot. So Carlin drew the error. No wicket at this stage. It will be Holly Hogan on strike. Plays for Valleys. I think only 14. She'll learn a lot this week. Carlin, good length delivery, up his shot. So hammering Carlin. Bowling with great control. A clever shot from Hogan, just behind square. Well, not quite well placed enough to get a single, but she did look comfortable facing the leg spin of Carlin. She's bowled well. And so the Kings, after 11 overs, 7 for 53. If they can squeeze out another 60 runs from somewhere, tall ask I know, they will avoid the bonus point. to be fair, probably beyond them, but there's a lot of pride to play for, and 5 matches left. You don't lose a tournament like this with one game where you're outplayed. So Clodagh Ryle face Wheeler. Went for a big shot. The bails were off because it was Glennie who took them off. The back foot was well and truly anchored. And that's the value of having Glennie up to the stumps. Ryle couldn't come out to meet the delivery. At least she avoided the stumping. It's good work from Glennie. Goes across to the off. She'll get 4 for this. Was able to get into the gap. I apologise. Some excellent fielding from Alice Hayes. In from the fine leg boundary. They've been able to scamper back for 2. So 2 runs saved there from Alice Hayes, who's fielded well in the outfield and the inner ring so far today. So Ryle making the batters think. Apologies, the scoreboard is just behind because of the error made with the run out, but they'll catch up. Ryle, much better shot. This does go for 4. Picked up a shorter delivery from Wheeler, whacked it both into the gap and over the inner ring. Excellent work from Clodagh Ryle. The scoreboard being corrected at the moment, and thankfully it's in a game where the result is all but assured. Wheeler got this one back into the Ryle, and to mid on. They'll get a single. It's Hogan on strike. Carlin quite well. Beautiful ball from Wheeler. That was a genuine leg spinner. The actions of Hogan looked like a pitched leg and spun past off. Well done. Good work from Hogan. She'll get a leg bye for this. Wasn't scared by Glennie up to the stumps. She used her feet to get to the pitch of the ball. And in fact, she did get an edge on that, so a single to Hogan. And for someone batting so low down the order, he's very assured against leg spin. And the Pirates using their squad well. We see Charlotte Love, I apologise, Charlotte Love's the other team, Jessica Bryant and Gabby McRae return to the field. Make sure that on a fairly hot day here, it's not summer hot, but it's definitely autumn hot, or even spring hot. What month is it, Daniel? September. It's been superb. So Hogan's shown she can play leg spin well. She now has to cope with mostly accurate pace. Bonnie Berry came back after a spell. Her first 2 overs from this end were utterly superb. Went for a slower ball first up, just came out the back of the wrist. Run out chance at the bowler's end. That's a lie, it was a shy at the bowler's end, but definitely not a run out chance. And so Hogan coped with it well. Not entirely sure why Berry tried the slower ball first up. Ryle takes her time, makes Berry wait. Okay, I've made an absolute goose of myself. I sincerely apologise. It's Michaela Montgomery bowling from this end. Apologies for the error. So Michaela Montgomery, here at the southern end, bowling the Clodagh Ryle. Forget everything I said, and a little bit about the last 2 minutes. Montgomery bounced the action, it was a good length. Just went underneath Bryant, who's returned to the field, and Hayes does well. They are going for a second. Hayes with the throw. Can't stop the second. Just a little bit of indecision between Bryant and Hayes at mid-off and mid-on. So Montgomery concedes 2. Had the pads on for a long time, Montgomery, and was shuffled down the order. She's bowling to Clodagh Ryle. It's an ambitious LBW appeal, a good length from Montgomery, and Ryle just didn't read the bounce correctly. So Montgomery, another bowler from the Winnemanley Redlands club. As you would expect with the team called the Bayside Pirates, there's a lot of players from the Bayside clubs. Slower delivery fooled Ryle for a moment, but she's taken a single to Jessica Bryant at mid-off. Now, with me misidentifying the bowler, you do have a live chat option on the YouTube stream, and I do like to be corrected. This is your tournament. This is the tournament of the women you know. Corrections are good. Got it on the full. It's gone through the legs of Jessica Bryant. Probably should have put the knee down to that one, and it's 4 through mid-on. That's a good shot from Holly Hogan. End of the over. Generally controlled from Montgomery, and her length was generally good. Hogan was just good enough on that occasion, and to be fair, it was just a piece of misfielding that Montgomery conceded the boundary. So the Pirates coasting to victory here on the main field at Marchant Park number 10, the home of the Warehouse Cricket Association in Brisbane. Originally called Warehouse because it was the teams made up of factory workers, but over time it's become both non-district clubs and also just what they used to call car boot teams. Just teams of people who just want to play together in the lower grades of warehouse cricket. It's a wonderful competition. Ryle steps outside off, places it well. She'll get a single to deep mid-wicket as it's fielded by Eloise Shade. So Wheeler continuing from the northern end, giving herself a chance, making sure that she can use the young bowlers at one end and keep it tight herself at the other. Floated, beats Hogan. Glennie takes off the bails by compulsion because keeper. Yes, use the live chat. I'd love to hear from you. Anything you know about the players is useful. Footwork from Hogan off the foot of Wheeler and through for a single. I've liked the look of Holly Hogan's batting. She's batted with intent. She's used her feet well. She's been brave. And hand-eye coordination was good. Wheeler to Ryan. Into the offside. Blade's just spun past. There's McRae out there. And it has reached the boundary. It's lofted through cover. Gave the opportunity, but it was too wide of McRae for her to think about a realistic catching chance. So Ryle has been steady. Into the 40s. That was a low bouncing delivery, swatted to mid-wicket. Through the legs of the boundary rider, but not over the boundary. Shade made a good recovery. 2 runs to Ryle. Wheeler continues. Good footwork and a single run out to Bryant at mid-off. Controlled over from Wheeler, but Ryle, I think, taking the lead of her less experienced and younger teammate in not being worried by Glennie behind the stumps, and if the ball's there to come down the track, use your feet, take the chance, play the shot. Holly Barr, who opened the bowling from the far end, will now bowl from the near end. So Clara Ryle just down at her haunches. It is a hot day, possibly dehydrated. Wheeler taking her time with her field. Clara Ryle making sure she's getting a bit of form up for the rest of the tournament. As I say, probably more of a bowler than a batter in the all-rounder stakes. Now faces Holly Barr. Short, cut, and it will be fielded easily on the boundary. So just the single Bit of spongy bounce there for Holly Barr. Didn't really zip off the pitch, more just sat up. And Ryle played not so much a cut shot as a forehand. Holly Hogan. Barr decides that that run up wasn't her best, and she'll have another crack at it. Outside gets the edge, and there is protection at third, so just a single to Hogan. A false shot, but in white ball cricket, you're unlucky if you get caught at slip. Captains tend to employ a slip fielder about once a decade. That kept low. Ryle did well to keep it out and turn it away from single to mid-wicket. Clodagh brings up her 50. Battled hard. Seen wickets fall around her. But she's kept her head. That's an important 50 for Clodagh, even though it probably won't win her team the match. Definitely a lot of gut showing things. So Holly to Holly. Holly beats the inner ring. Carlin will be fielding on the boundary. They haven't had a look at her arm. And it's good without being a rocket, so there possibly was a second there. And now they know. So Holly Hogan, the batter, beats Holly Barr, the bowler, on that occasion, but now we have Clodagh. Half centurion. A loose delivery from Barr. Good movement from Glennie behind the picks. Behind the sticks, that was. Those of you following on the app, unfortunately the scoreboard is well behind, so I apologise for that. Barr's radar just off at the moment, and Glennie not getting down to the ball, so there will be 2 wides off that delivery. So Holly Barr just needs to compose herself. She'll be fine. She's played a lot. Hogan on 9, Ryle on 50, Barr 2 for 22 in her third over. Right outside the off stump, but still a dot. There's a bag there. So Barr just bowled with that, let's call it a 12th stump line. Full nearly played on. We've seen 1 wicket played on so far today, nearly a second. So Barr a few yips in the middle of that over, but pulled it back in well. So if the Kings dare to dream, 113 is the target they need to avoid the bonus point. That looks to be a little beyond them, but full credit to the Pirates. They've batted well. They were held down a couple of times through the innings, but usually accelerated their way out of it. It wasn't all Wheeler either. Eloise Shade played a superb supporting role. I think this might be Bonnie Berry on from the far end. Although apparently I can't tell Berry and Montgomery apart. Fine leg on the edge of the circle in the form of Alice Hayes. Fielder's back on the offside as well. Hayes has been sent back to the fine leg boundary. But not really deep fielders in front of the wicket, which suggests that there's a bit of heat about to be heading towards the camera. And that's one way to open a spell. Bonnie Berry has 3 for. It's been an outstanding bowling performance from her today. Straight onto the sticks, and the well-set Clodagh, and take a bow, Clodagh. That's a superb innings in the circumstances. To tough out of 50 when the side's falling around you. It takes a lot of composure. She's captained the first grade side. She's also played, certainly for the Queensland Indigenous team. I think she's been in the Australian Indigenous women's squad. But she finally goes and will be replaced at the crease by Maddie Duncan in the number 9 shirt. She receives a good hand from her teammates as she returns to the boundary. And Bonnie Berry, 3 wickets, is possibly not finished yet. With 2 hours into the Brisbane Premier League Under-19 Women's Tournament, we may have already found a breakout star. Berry to Duncan. Oh! Okay, Dahlia Glennie's in trouble. That's reared up and hit her in the face. It bounced near the stumps and then just reared up. There was no way that she could have known that was coming for her. So she will be getting attention and there'll probably be a break here. I won't focus too much on the injury, not because I don't care for Dahlia Glennie, but simply because we don't want this to be macabre. But that absolutely shot up from next to the stumps and I defy any keeper to get their gloves up to that one in time. Very unfortunate. Let's hope she's okay. And later in the day, we will try to get updates on her. I mean, hopefully she can continue now. But she is getting assistance, and we will have obviously a completely necessary and appropriate break in proceedings. So the news from earlier today, you can catch this all on the app, but the Bayside Pirates batted first, scored 4 for 143, which looked a good total at the time. Tara Whelan top scored with 62 off 54 deliveries with 11 boundaries. Eloise Shade, coming in at number 4, hit 26 not out off 25. She played an excellent supporting role. Also double-figure scores to Dahlia Glennie, the keeper, and Jessica Bryant, who scored 10 not out. The wickets, there were only 4 of them. Lucinda Burke came on late and took 2. She had 2 for 16 off 2 overs, so a little expensive, but got breakthroughs when they were required. Clodagh Ryle, 1 for 20 with her left arm in the first coverage. Tasman Gardner, 1 for 24 with 3 overs. They finished at 4 for 143. The Northern Kings in their innings, they're each 7 for 61 is an old score. If you're watching the stream at the moment, unfortunately, you will actually have, well, fortunately for you, you'll have a better idea of the current scorecard than I do. I'm actually going to stop commentary for a moment because we don't want to focus unduly on the injury. So as soon as we have play resuming, we will resume the commentary. I'll put a note in the chat. Okay, let's resume the action here at the Brisbane Premier League. Dahlia Glennie receiving treatment. And Michaela Montgomery assuming the gloves. Bonnie Berry, good straight delivery, kept out by Duncan. Yes, poor Dahlia Glennie copying a rising delivery. And yes, a couple of comments on the... get to those in a moment. Swat across the line from Maddie Duncan, she's gone. Bonnie Berry has her fourth. It was a full straight delivery. Duncan played right across the line. Berry has been getting outswing. And that one, with obviously I'm not going to be perfectly sure from this angle, but I would not be surprised at all if that's straightened down the line. Berry has a fourfer, and there are wickets left to take. And yes, a couple of comments online suggesting that the pitch was bordering on dangerous from Mr. Kennedy. I take your point. I'm not going to make a comment without being absolutely sure what I'm talking about, but you're right. There is a two-paced nature to this pitch. There's a dead spot at the far end, and then somehow that one just reared before. So Dahlia Glennie will be receiving treatment. Michaela Montgomery with the gloves. Bonnie Berry will continue to do her thing. She has 4 wickets. I'm calling it now breakout star of the first morning of the Under-19 Women's Tournament, the Brisbane Premier League. And yes, the rules just being explained to the players. I think Holly Hogan thought that if you cross before the umpire puts his finger up, it doesn't matter if it's an LBW, you get to stay at the striker's end. Not so. Only on a catch that happens, and so Charlotte Love is the new batter in the number 13 shirt. Berry's bowling with heat. Very short work from Montgomery as well. She's done well assuming the gloves. Very assured from Charlotte Love, just watched it through. Now it's a case of batting out the 20. 5 wickets. A 5-wicket haul for Bonnie Berry. Congratulations. A beautiful outswinging Yorker has accounted for Charlotte Love, and we have the first 5-wicket haul of the Under-19 women's competition in the Brisbane Premier League. In fact, I think there was only one in the men's competition. The innings is over. The Bayside Pirates have won with a bonus point. A spectacular victory here on Marchant Park number 10. They go to 6 points. The Kings will start on -1 for the next match. The next match is on this field will be between the Darling Dingoes and the Coastal Marlins. In fact, you can see some of the Coastal Marlins coming in the shot now in their distinctive light blue and orange kits. But in this game, well, I suppose it's really between Tara Wheeler and Bonnie Berry as to who gets the Player of the Match award. But an absolutely stunning performance from the Bayside Pirates. They've won by plenty with a bonus point. We'll try to get you an update on Dahlia Glennie throughout the day. Thank you for your comments on the stream. There will be a new channel, a new video rather, which opens for the following game. So the Darling Dingoes versus the Coastal Marlins at 11 o'clock, and then at 2 o'clock the Southern Rockets will take on the Northern Kings, who will be looking to bounce back from this loss here. My name's Daniel Vales, thank you for your company, and I'll join you on the other video or on the Brisbane Premier League app as soon as the next match starts. Congratulations.
You get 5?
I didn't see the final figures, but you got 5, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, well done. Yes.
Charlotte, Lucy, Briggsy, Zoe. We'll start off with you girls out there bowling.
I can't find you on that.
I don't have one. I'll try. I'll grab Charlotte.
Oh, you get around to the other game. Hey girls, so just do one short here and one long with me, so just break it up in 2 groups.
let's go as close to the side screen as possible. There seems to be a little flatness around there, next to where it says free bag. Oh, I don't want to sit directly in front of this person. So go back. 2 steps further back. No, that must stay. Oh, that's fixed, so yeah.
I'll do anything else for you.
I think I'm right for the moment, but I know you're there, and if you're around and I need help, I'll... Thank you so much. This will be all right. All right? This should be all right. All right. No one tripped on the key. I know, right? Yeah, last thing we'll do is call them. Thank you. I missed your name before. Is it Bernie? Bernie, Daniel. Good. Bernie, you get something for these? Okay. What's her name? Tanya, before, said that she... First of all, I've got tape. Oh, right. But Tanya was also going to get witches' hats. Oh, right. Yeah, come on. I think you're right. Hey, please don't walk here, otherwise you'll destroy things I can't afford to buy. Sorry, just got a cord here that's so